I'm looking at beautiful photos of interiors of hotels as well as houses. They all look always amazing, don't they? But did you ever wonder if a house is really like that? Is it as tidy, as well thought of, as perfectly designed? Or is that just, staged? So I can find out today because I had a photo shoot in my house. So let's see what really goes on. So a few days ago, a team came into my house, an interior designer, or assistant, 2 assistants actually, and a photographer to shoot the house. We had the kitchen, the bathroom renovated a few years ago, and we also refurbished the living room and the office. And they wanted to take photos for their portfolio, for their website, and possibly to pitch it to some magazines. I was really interested in that, so I asked if I could stay around, and they said, sure, no problem. I also wanted to ask some tips to the photographer because I'm trying to improve my photography for the blog. So this is what I found out. First of all, the prep. You think that they just come in, they take pictures and it's done. Actually, there's a lot of preparation beforehand.
And then you start thinking about textures. If we think that a room has got a lot of hard surfaces, we're going to try and bring in a lot of textiles, a lot of textures to try and break that up a little bit. We might try and think about pops of colours if we think that one room is a little too calm, or bring it down if we think that the room is too bright. So there's a lot of thinking about the colour, but also the shots themselves. We will look at the pictures that we've taken whilst we came on site before and think about, okay, this is a shot, this is a shot.
They also asked me to send them pictures of what the house looked like since they had done the work with us, because obviously as you live in the house, you add some more things, or you may move things around from the initial setup that was agreed with the designer. So based on that, they look at this and they try to figure out the right pattern, the right color, the right additional texture that possibly they need to bring, and then they come with all of that to the house. So on the day of the shoot, several of them arrived in advance, and they came with these bags of dried flowers and cushions and towels and pots and pans and even books, so that the book size would be the right color in shelves. And then before they were taking a photo, they would kind of place those different props in the scene. And it was very interesting to see how they were talking amongst each other, replacing something, trying to see whether that would work well here or not, asking the photographer in terms of the frame, how it's going to look like. So really something that was interesting to observe. And really, what you see in magazines may not be how people live in the house. For instance, to make sure that the pictures in the living room were nice, they moved the TV back in the alcove so it would be hidden from view, and they removed the table on which the TV sits. So it looks like this very nice, cozy living room, which it is, but that's where we watch the TV, and yet you don't see the TV at all on the picture. Sometimes they move chairs, they move furniture, and they can reuse the same stuff in different rooms, which creates a sense of consistency, but at the same time it tells you that, a photo that you see may not be how people live in this house. As regards taking photos, the equipment is quite interesting. So Anna, the photographer, obviously had her DSLR, she had a tripod, she had a suitcase with different cables and all of that. What was interesting to see was the approach. Instead of taking lots of different pictures, which they did, but really they were trying to find the shot. So they placed things, then they position the camera, they take the picture, they're like, okay, that looks like the story you wanted to say, or it doesn't, let's move something, let's add some accessories, let's do a different angle, and so on. For instance, when they were taking a picture of the side between the cabinets and the kitchen island, which leads on the garden, there were some pots of plants, and they moved that away so that there was a more clear picture. Now, it took the whole day to shoot. The interior designer Celine explained to me that if you want to then pitch these photos to a magazine, usually a magazine wants to have a kitchen, a living room, a bedroom, a bathroom, a hallway or something. So you need to really show the whole house. And for that reason, they spent the whole day. They had planned beforehand the order of things. So they started with the downstairs, so the living room and the kitchen. Then they moved upstairs for the bathroom and the office, and they took pictures of 2 bedrooms, including the bedroom. Now, they hadn't designed the bedroom. Our bedroom is okay, it's just a bit plain. It's not been really thought through at the moment. We will add things to it. So what they did is that they took some accessories from other rooms, put it in that bedroom, and then styled and framed things so that it looked like it was designed. The other thing they're going to do as well in post-production, in editing, is adding some frames on the wall. Now, my husband is quite minimalist, has been a bit reluctant for us to put things on the wall. It's getting there now. We ordered a few, but yes, there was no photo or frame or paint above the sofa or above the bed, and they said they're going to add that, Photoshop it when they edit the photos. In addition, obviously, to the photos they take on the day, there's all the work that they do afterwards, where the photographer is going to edit in her style to make sure it's the same kind of filter, color pattern, light, intensity of brightness, etc. And to make sure there's a story that is consistent. So the frames they choose will show how, for instance, we have blue in many parts of the house, or the use of wood throughout the house, and it's always that kind of same feeling, the style of the house. Now, I can't wait to see those photos. Celine will put them on her Instagram and her website. As she said, it's mostly for brand awareness and promotion. They will try to pitch to some magazines, and she actually has some interesting tips on how to approach magazine, or how you can find some magazine opportunities.
It depends. You can approach magazine directly. It usually doesn't go very far because a lot of people do, and so it's hard to be picked up. They don't want big files, so you need to send them just a few shots that you think are the strongest shot that might, interest them, and then they'll ask for more. You can do it, but it can be tricky. We sometimes use a stylist who works with those magazines, so she's a weigh-in, she knows who to approach, and mostly she knows which magazines to approach because they'll all have a different angle, they'll all be looking at different things.
It was really interesting to do this photo shoot because in a way it's the conclusion of the project, and that's exactly how Celine felt as well. Now, I mentioned that I was also interested in this photo shoot because I like to improve my photography for when I go and visit hotels and I take photos for the blog. So I asked for a few tips from Anna, which she gave me, and also asked her, which tips she would want to share with you.
Yes, I would get a tripod, see the shot, and then build it up. I think that will be a nice way of doing it.
And I noticed today you didn't have any, extra lights or anything, because you think that with natural light, it's
your house has actually quite nice light. The day today is a quite nice day.
Yeah.
So it's not super strong sun.
Yeah.
That would be difficult to shoot. And so it's having this nice, a bit diffused light. So it's a brighter day, not too dark, not too bright. So it's quite a perfect light. In some jobs I could flash. This job I wouldn't. And also that makes me move quite much quicker. And also keep my natural style, which I quite like. But you cannot shoot something like that without a tripod. Because like a shot that you've seen earlier I've done in the bathroom that we didn't have any window, we had to do like a long exposure. That wouldn't be able to do it without a tripod.
So here you go, a bit of a behind the scenes of a photo shoot. I hope it gave you some useful tips and useful insights, and I'll see you very soon. Au revoir!